And then they have cans of soup. And they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? And then when they get caught, they say, no, this is soup from my family. They're so innocent. This is soup from my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground, and the anarchists take it and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick because it's got force. It's the perfect size. It's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup from my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people.
I mean, the fossil fuel industry, they weigh in so significantly. I mean, how could it be?
All of a sudden, we can't talk about Neanderthal DNA anymore.
But the real problem is that our leaders are dumb. Dumb.
I am not up to the job.
So dumb.
I am not up to the job.
But
and I mean that sincerely. It's not like, whoa, I am not up to the job.
$7 million for reef fish management. $25 million to combat Asian carp. $2.5 million to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico.
I don't wear a mask like him. Every time you see him, he's got a mask. He could be speaking 200 feet away from it. He shows up with the biggest mask I've ever seen.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree.
Everybody comes in your grandmother. Everybody comes in your grandmother. Yeah. Everybody comes in your grandmother. 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 Comes in your grandmother. Your grandmother in your grandmother. Comes grandmother in your grandmother. Everybody comes in your grandmother.
Nancy Pelosi saying this country needs a strong Republican Party. Here I am, Nancy Pelosi, saying this country needs a strong Republican Party. Pelosi saying this country needs a strong Republican Party. This country needs a strong Republican Party, and we do.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
I went in yesterday and there was a television screen and I said, this is genius.
Oh, seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw peppers and hot sauce.
losers, and welcome to another, it's happening again, here we are once again, doing the show, a program. I'd like to make an announcement, well, first of all, I'd like to announce that I'm going to make an announcement, so in the next 30 seconds, folks, there's going to be an announcement. So brace for impact, put your seatbelts on, because I have news for you, because it is, in fact, right now, as we speak, the weekend. Yeah! So, we got the weekend program, today. Today's the weekend program, as well as tomorrow. Tomorrow's the weekend program. As well, there's going to be multiple programs happening over the next period of time. There's going to be some programs. And so we're doing the show. I'm doing the show. You're watching the show because you have no creativity. There's nothing in your brain that is capable of producing, anything worthwhile. And so as a result, you're here watching the show and I'm here doing the show, and we are not the same. Let's just put it that way. We are not the same. And so today I've got a program lined up. I got a program that I'm going to do. And it's lined up as of right now. It's lined up. And so, so that's the show. We got Bodan in the chat. Let's go, Bodan. I agree. So, got Bodan in the chat room. And so let's take these off. I'd like to announce another announcement. Zero PE, whom is not in the chat room at this current moment in time, I believe, requested that I do a food challenge, and he gave me the money to do the food challenge. And so I said before on my stream that I can deal with any kind of spicy food. I think the idea of spicy food, I like to use the term white people spicy. Now, I say that as a white person. But every time you go to a restaurant, and you see something like spicy whatever on the menu, and you get it, and it's like, what? Like, it's not spicy at all, right? There's no spice factor in any capacity. They lied to me. And then sometimes I'm at a restaurant and I ask, so is this spicy or is this white people spicy? Sometimes they chuckle, but the answer is always, it's white people spicy because, white people are fucking stupid. They have no spice tolerance. They don't know how to eat food properly. So anyway, there's this thing that I've never heard of before, but Zero PE was like, oh, I bet you can't do this one chip challenge. So I got these that I'm going to do on Monday. I'm going to do these one chip challenge bullshit. I got 4 of them. And we're going to do as many as I can. These are a little expensive because I think they're out of print or something, but they're not expired yet. But I'm going to do at least 1, but I'm going to try to do all 4 on Monday. So this is going to be Monday's show. I'm going to try to do as many of these as I can. I've got 4 of them. So thank you, Zero PE, for giving me the money to buy those. And so we'll see if this is is this spicy or is this white people spicy? I'm under the impression that it's probably going to be white people spicy. It says it's made with Carolina Reaper and scorpion pepper. But I've had scorpion pepper hot sauce and it's 1% scorpion pepper and then 99% sugar. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. And that's going to be on Monday's program. I was originally going to do Tuesday's program because that's my birthday. But I'm planning on doing shrooms on Tuesday. And so I don't want to eat a bunch of really spicy food and then eat shrooms as soon as the show's over. And that's probably going to make me throw up. So I'm going to do this on Monday instead. So there you go. And, we'll see. Will I be proven wrong? Maybe, these are tortilla chips as well. So maybe I'll dip them in ghost pepper salsa. I've got Mrs. Renfro's ghost pepper salsa, which is kind of spicy. It's not as spicy as an actual ghost pepper, but, maybe we'll do some double dipping. Anyway, so that's going to happen on Monday. I'm not really into watching people in pain for fun. I doubt I'm going to be in pain. I eat spicy food every single day of my life, so I'm sure it'll be mild discomfort at the worst case scenario. And then this is where I'm going to edit this part into the video that I'm going to make when I upload the clip of that. It's like, oh yeah, whatever. We got Smia in the chat. We got Andrew, Tyler. What's with all these motherfuckers, these stupid ass idiots in the chat? That's what I'm talking about, you people. They use your full real name as your... Got Bodan also. Like Cloud? That's a good username. Who the fuck is Cloud? Oh. Y'all motherfuckers are like, yes, my name is Tyler Hackner. Please look me up. Like, what the fuck? Oh. Oh. Hello, agent. All right, folks. We got a show, a pending program. Pending program. We got a pending program here. The program is pending. Wait. All right, the program is on. All right, so we're here. All these motherfuckers. You know what I hate? Dumb motherfuckers. Anyway, that's the full. That's it. Now, the ultimate deception would be just like making your username a full name, but it's just like you make it up. You know, like you just make it up. Is that my name? Who knows? All right. Today I'm going to be talking about the school shooting in Uvalde a little bit more, the police response, politicians' response, and so forth. But there's a couple of other things that I want to talk about as well. But I want to start off with this story. So this is from the New York Times, and this story goes into a little bit more in depth into just how prepared the Uvalde's police response were. Like how, you know, again, one of the parents, this quote, in, you know, no disrespect to these parents, but one of the quotes when the parents were speaking to the news on the day of the shooting is one of the parents felt that the cops were unprepared to do the job. And so I just want to know, like, I just want to note that they were not unprepared. They were literally as prepared as any police force in any city could possibly be. It's just that they chose at that moment not to do anything. So I want to read this article here from the New York Times. In mass shootings, police are trained to confront the attacker. Responding to a call of a mass shooting, police officers in the United States are trained, above all else, to stop the gunman, act with urgency, defend innocent lives. As new questions emerged on Friday about the police response to the shooting at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, experts described those principles as the central tenets for handling such circumstances, a set of protocols that have evolved significantly over the past 2 decades but are widely accepted by law enforcement agencies in the United States. Officers are taught to enter quickly in small formations or even enter with only 1 or 2 officers to disable any gunman. Texas protocols included in materials that Uvalde police officers were trained on as recently as 2 months ago. In March, these cops, during like a weekend or like an off day or after school, they went into this very school to do a training demonstration 2 months ago. Again, they were not unprepared. They were literally, historically, the most prepared police force probably that ever could exist. It's just incredible. Advise that an officer's first priority is to move in and confront the attacker. This may include bypassing the injured and not responding to cries for help from children. An entirely different approach may be called for if the gunfire ends, experts say. Then police are trained to use slower tactics appropriate for a barricaded gunman or hostage situation. The guidelines sound straightforward, but the scenarios often are not. The protocols have been examined time and time again after the last 2 decades amid devastating massacres in cities around the country. Officers must make moment-by-moment judgment calls based on often incomplete information in shifting, highly volatile situations where every second is essential, and none of it, experts acknowledge, can serve as an antidote for the underlying problem of gunmen intent on causing violence inside grocery stores, churches, and schools. This is another piece of information I might touch more on over the next coming days. But the Border Patrol agent that eventually killed the gunman in Robb Elementary School literally defied the police orders. And I read a report that he was not even part of an official team. He was just some law enforcement officer that heard that something was going on and went to go see the area. That's what I read. I'm going to look into that more and maybe do another segment on that tomorrow. But he literally was just like, the cops aren't doing anything. I'm going to go in because and the cops aren't going to arrest me because I'm a higher ranking police official. Right? So I read that. I'm not sure how, what the veracity of those details are. But I'm going to look into that more as well. And so it's very incident specific, said blah, 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 retired police captain. I don't care what they have to say. Still, in a school shooting, law enforcement should err on the side of neutralizing the threat, said Ronald Tunkel, a retired agent for the Bureau of Alcohol, blah, 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 who cares? If you know children are being murdered, why do you wait? He said, get in there. Well, okay, I agree. In Uvalde, where 19 children and 2 teachers were killed on Tuesday, the director of Texas Department of Public Safety, Stephen C. Mcgraw, said on Friday that the commander overseeing the police had made the wrong choice when he treated the evolving situation as a barricaded subject rather than an active shooting. As police officers gathered in the school halls, children made multiple 911 calls from inside the classroom over a period of more than an hour. There's been a report. More details are coming out about the timeline of this tragedy. Turns out that the kids called 911 at least 4 times that I've read as of this moment. Like 4 times over the course of an hour. So like 10 minutes, call the cops. 20 minutes in, call the cops again. Where the fuck are you? 40 minutes in, where the fuck are the cops? Hello? Right? It's insane. Of course, it was not the right decision, Mr. Mcgraw said. It was a wrong decision, period. There's no excuse for that. Okay, great. How about you resign? Because you're apparently the director of Texas Department of Public Safety. You're not keeping anyone safe. How about you resign? You take responsibility for this. The rot, right, is institutional. The rot is not just in this local police department. The rot is statewide, countrywide. The rot of this is all over the country. So, it's insane. It's insane. Anyway, the rest of this you can read is just cope. And like explaining how bad the situation is. But the real takeaway in this story is that they did a training drill 2 months ago. These motherfuckers were prepared. They knew what to do. They chose not to. For those of you that don't know, there's a Supreme Court precedent that says that police have no responsibility to protect you. People have been throwing that around a lot lately. The only reason why police exist in this country is to keep you in line. That's it. That's it. The threat of police, right? It doesn't matter. School shooting, we don't care about the school shootings. We only care about, are people going to go on strike? Are people going to protest? Can we beat the fucking shit out of black people who are playing with a Lego set in the park? That's all they care about. It's to keep you in line. They don't care about protecting you. They don't need to protect you. It's never been about protection. It's been about control and manipulation. That's why, again, black kids with toys, they're gunned down. 12-year-old black kids, 13-year-old black kids, doesn't matter. 8-year-old black kids are gunned the fuck down, playing with fucking toys, Legos, dinosaurs, whatever it is, right? But a school shooter? Sorry, bro. That's a little too scary for me. It's insane. It's insane. Again, 2 months ago, they did a training drill for this very scenario 2 months ago. They were not unprepared. They were highly prepared. They were an elite team of the most prepared people on planet Earth. It's just that they chose not to do anything. Like, imagine if on, like D-Day, right, in World War II. Like, they drop the motherfuckers from the plane, and then all the soldiers are just like, and they just start, like, lighting up cigarettes, right? Like, you know, there's fucking, like, there's a war going on, right? Like, the Germans are fucking gonna kill you, and they just drop out of the planes and just like... That's basically, like, again, they knew, they had plans, they were prepared, they trained for it, just at the last minute, fuck it. I'm bored. I don't want to do this shit. It's insane. This is the very bizarre noises and faces portion of the program. As we all know, that's my favorite portion of the program. The school is predominantly Latino. The cops in Texas are racist, very, very racist. That's exactly correct. Like, if this was like a situation where all the kids were white, I think it would have gone very differently. But also, I wouldn't bet on it. I wouldn't bet on it, right? Like, who knows, right? Like, but percentage-wise, probability-wise, more likely that they would do something. But also, I would not bet my life on cops doing anything for anybody, let's be honest. Maybe if it were like Beverly fucking Hills schools or something, right? My thought is the planet is a petri dish and feeds on itself to destruction. Have y'all ever actually worked with, like, petri dishes? Because, you know, I have. And it's fun watching multiple organisms in a petri dish, like, fucking fight. Like, every day you look at them and it's like, oh, this motherfucker's gonna win. No, this motherfucker. I love that shit. Although, you know, it's better when, you know, your petri dishes are not contaminated. But that's a whole different story. All right, so I don't even know what to say about this. Like, this one is just like, this shit's insane. So, there's a couple of clips here. Right? But the last one is the most insane. But I want to play the whole thing here. So, this is like some guy who's like wearing like a fancy uniform. So I'm assuming he's like a higher ranking guy. Okay, so this is the Stephen Mcgraw guy, I believe. He's got his patches on. Doing a press conference yesterday about the police response, and I got a couple of notable clips here that really just shed light on just how fucking stupid these fucking motherfuckers are. Like, these motherfucking fuckers are dumb as fucking fuck. So let's watch.
The on-scene commander at the time believed that it had transitioned from an active shooter to a barricaded subject.
Sir, you have people who are alive, children who are calling 911 saying, please send the police. They are alive. In that classroom, there are lives that are at risk.
We're well aware of that.
Right. Yeah. Why was this decision made not to go in and rescue these children?
Again, you know,
So, a reporter is asking, I'm not sure if you can hear it, they were literally calling 911. Right? So the only answer here is that the commander is a fucking idiot. That's the only answer. Like, he just like had spontaneously gone deaf or like just had temporary insanity or some shit. And also, okay, he made the wrong decision. Fire him! Fire the bitch motherfucker! Like, I'm sorry, when push comes to shove and you choose to do nothing, get the fuck out!
The on-scene commander considered a barricaded subject and that there was time and there were no more children at risk. Obviously, based upon the information we have, there were children in that classroom that were at risk, and it was, in fact, still an active shooter situation and not a barricaded subject.
So again, the cope. Oh yeah, our commander's a fucking idiot. And I'm a fucking idiot for making them the commander. I'm the fucking idiot, because this is like the director. Right? Like chief, whatever it is. Like he is in charge of like the statewide apparatus or whatever local branch of the statewide apparatus. This fucking shit's insane. These people are fucking ridiculous. They belong in jail. They belong in prison. They belong in whatever. If we could concoct like a Guantanamo Bay these motherfuckers, and that would be fucking like, you know, sleeping on a fucking great like luxury bed in comparison to what these motherfuckers actually deserve. But let's continue.
What?
Police, this man, girl. What can you tell parents that were here waiting and asking for the police to go in? Is there an apology for them?
Yeah, there was 19. Like I said, there was 19 officers in there. In fact, there was plenty of officers to do whatever needed to be done, with one exception, is that the incident commander inside a dynamic entry and went in, and of course that was not till 12. That was not till 12:57. With the benefit of hindsight, stand by.
Fucking, first of all, telling reporters, stand by, motherfucker, we're not in boot camp, you fucking prick. Oh, stand by, like English, motherfucker, do you speak it? Like, hello? And it's okay, there were 19 officers, one per every kid that was murdered. There were plenty to do the thing. It's just that they all chose not to. And this is what really we need to talk about, is these fuckface cops have this mentality where they are literally selected to be this way, where they value their position within the group, right, more than they value anything else. So they don't want to defy their commander, because if they defied their commander, even if they became a hero, even if they went in there in a blaze of glory, stopped the shooter, and maybe only 2 kids died or 3 kids, right? They would still get fucked in the face by their commander because they defied them. They chose to act against the commander's wishes. And they are so afraid to possibly ever go against leadership that they're willing to just sit back and watch 19 kids get murdered. And again, I want to remind you all, while this was happening, while gunshots were ringing out, they were pepper spraying, tasing, and handcuffing parents. There was one story where a parent was handcuffed and detained for 8 hours and didn't know if their kid was alive or dead for 8 hours. And then when they were eventually released, they discovered that their kid was dead. The police were more interested in beating the shit out of parents, tackling them to the ground, smashing their faces into concrete. Parents of dying and dead children, and then holding them hostage for 8 fucking hours while they are being tortured with not even knowing if their kid is alive or dead, because no one had the fucking, just the humanity to go in there and just tell them. It's insane. And this is the guy, these are the people that belong in jail. Again, Guantanamo Bay that's an understatement.
Stand by. Hey, stand by, right?
Stand by.
Okay. Hey, for the benefit of hindsight, where I'm sitting now, of course it was not the right decision. It was the wrong decision, period. There's no excuse for that. But again, okay, it's a wrong decision. Accountability, maybe? Oh, sorry, we fucked up. 19 kids are dead. Whoops. Anyway, see you all next week. What? And I wasn't there, but I'm just telling you, from what we know, We believe there should have been an entry at that as soon as you can. Hey, when there's an active shooter, the rules change. It's no longer, okay, it's no longer a barricaded subject. We don't have time. You don't worry about outer perimeters. And by the way, Texas embraces active shooter training, active shooter certification, and that doctrine requires officers, we don't care what agency you're from, you don't have to have a leader on the scene. Every officer lines up, stacks up, goes and finds where those rounds are being fired at.
Apparently not. Like, this guy is saying, stand by, everybody please, stand by. So, this is what we do. We go in, there's an active shooter, we go in, doesn't matter who tells you what, we go in and we neutralize the active shooter, go in. Apparently not. Apparently not. Uh-oh. Max the dog, hello. I've activated the hound. He's like, why is the bitch fucking screaming again? Like, you can't just sit here in our faces, right? And tell us, oh, no, this is what we do when there's an active shooter. Right after you just didn't do it. Come on, Max. Come on, buddy.
And keep shooting until the subject is dead, period.
What? Right? Like, what? That's not what happened. Like, I just, like, you sitting here, or standing, and telling us, if there's an active shooter, this is what we do. What? But this is where it gets just, this fucking shit is insane. This is insane. This is insanity. This person is, like, experiencing psychosis. This person is not, like, this is psychosis. I want to be very clear, this is psychosis.
Had money in the bank. So why and how is being looked at right now. And I'll tell you this, thousands of more leads are being looked at right now because we haven't answered all the questions. We haven't gotten into the why. Okay? We know the individual was also into cyber gaming in that regard and group gaming in that regard. So we got a lot of questions are out there and we're seeking answers, but we've got an obligation. We'll continue to update you when we find something out. Hey, the woman in the yes. Haven't gotten into the why. Okay? We know the individual was also into cyber gaming in that regard and group gaming in that regard. So
only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
I fucking can't. I can't with this shit. And, like, no one is going to be held accountable. Not a single politician, not a single cop. They're going to lie to our faces and say, yeah, in an active shooter situation, we go in and neutralize the subject. Well, what? And now they're scapegoating cyber gaming. I want to tell a story here about police and how fucking stupid they are and how out of touch they are. So for those of you that don't know, I had to deal with a situation with police multiple years ago known as a swatting incident. What this is where someone has your address. They find out what your address is in some way. And they call your local police station and make up a story that there's like a hostage crisis or whatever. And it dispatches a SWAT team to your house. And like, meanwhile, you have no idea what the fuck's going on, right? So I got swatted 4 years ago. And when explaining to these officers what was going on, right? The officer was like, they described like what clothes you were wearing. How'd they do that? And I remember telling the officer, I'm streaming on the internet and I have a webcam. And the officer looked me dead in the face and said, what's a stream? What's a webcam? So like the guys that had, like, I was getting I had at least a dozen officers pointing at like machine guns at my face. And I'm trying to explain to them what the hell's going on. And the guy in charge, the commander, didn't know what a live stream was and didn't know what a webcam was. And these are the people that were pointing guns in my face, in my mother's face, and they don't even know what a webcam is. Like, and again, like, these are the people that are in charge. Cyber gaming. He's into cyber gaming. What? That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't fucking mean anything at all. There is no information being transmitted when you say he was into cyber gaming. What? That's like saying, oh, this recent mass shooter was into eating hot dogs. Whoa. Right? Like, these fucking idiots, dude. They're fucking morons. Every single one of them are fucking morons, dude. They're fucking morons. And just for, reference, I got swatted when I was living in the DC area in Maryland, right? Cops everywhere. They're all fucking stupid. They're all fucking stupid. In Texas, they're fucking stupid. I've dealt with stupid fucking cops in North Carolina. I've dealt with stupid fucking cops in Maryland. I've dealt with stupid fucking cops in New Jersey. Everywhere I've ever lived, I've dealt with stupid fucking cops, all right? You see on the news, there's stupid fucking cops in Minneapolis. There's stupid fucking cops everywhere. Everywhere. There's stupid, dumb fuck cops, and they don't know fucking anything about anything because they're fucking stupid, okay? And again, they'll never take accountability. It's never their fault. It's never their fault for not keeping up with fucking what a webcam is. Oh, what's a video game? They don't know this stuff because they don't need to know. It doesn't matter, right? And there's never going to be accountability. They're going to sit here and tell us to our faces, oh yeah, no, in an active shooter situation, we would have neutralized the subject. What? Apparently fucking not. Apparently not. Like, they just lie to your face. And there's never any accountability. They just fucking lie. It doesn't matter. And no one will ever, like, you can call them out and say, good sir, you are lying. And then they'll just say no, and then go home and collect their paychecks. It's insane. Fucking cyber gaming, dude. I gotta take my fucking bullshit off. I'm getting all sweaty from the yelling. This fucking stupid shit. All right. So I'm going to get into the dumb fuck politician segment. Well, I want to get into the politician segment. I want to start with a good take, and I want to end with a bad take for these next couple of videos and clips. Yeah, so that's going to be where we're going. But just, take a little coffee break. Take a sip. Calm down. The best way to calm down and to reduce your heart rate is to drink some highly caffeinated coffee. All right. So, a couple of days ago, when this mass shooting in Texas occurred, I played a clip of Beto O'Rourke interrupting a Greg Abbott press conference where, like, the mayor of Uvalde and, like, they were screaming, "You son of a bitch! You son of a goddamn bitch! You motherfucker!" Right? And, I wanted to say I praise Beto for that. Based, Beto is not a beta. I will say that much. But there's another part of this. He did a little interview after being removed from this press conference. And I did not play this the other day because I was unaware of this video's existence. So this is, this takes place right after he was removed from the press conference. And he gives us a very interesting point of view in regards to Texas's politics. And again, I just wanted to say, you can disagree with Beto on a number of things, blah, 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 blah. But this right here, like, this is the exact response the Democrats should have. You see Democrats in the Senate, led by Chuck Schumer, going like, well, did you know actually that the Senate is on recess? Right, yeah, they're taking a break. You ever notice that whenever there's, like, a mass shooting, any tragedy, it always lines up with them being on recess. They're taking a break. The Senate's just, taking a break. So anyway, the senators, right, the Democratic senators, right, are like, oh, we need to compromise. What do Republicans think? We need to let Republicans take control of this bill. Blah, 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 blah. You see Joe Biden going out there and saying, what in God's name? When are we going to stop this? Motherfucker, you're the president. So I just want to say, Beto, like him or dislike him, right, whatever your position is on his policies, this is the fucking shit we need. I don't give a fuck if I disagree with his policy solutions. I am very impressed by the strength that he showed. And so I want to play this part because this takes place right after the other part that I played the other day. And I think it's all worth watching.
The only thing he did was make it easier to carry a gun in public. And he bragged about the fact that there would be no background check, no training, no vetting whatsoever. You know, he talked about that this was evil. The only thing evil is what he continues to do to the people of this state. He says this was unpredictable. It was totally predictable, and I predict this will continue to happen when you continue to have a governor who will not stand up for the people of Texas. His only interest is the gun lobby. He's scheduled to speak at the NRA convention this Friday in Houston, Texas.
And I have some clips of that I'm going to play in the future of this show. I'm going to play, there's some clips of Ted Cruz that I want to play, like just some real depraved fucking garbage.
Days after these kids were slaughtered right here in Uvalde, after they were slaughtered at Santa Fe High School, at Sutherland Springs, in Midland, Odessa, in El Paso, Texas. 5 of the worst mass shootings in U.S. history right here in this state in the last 5 years. He was governor for every single one of them. And after every one of these press conferences just like this, and I wish to hell, when he came to El Paso, someone would have stood up and held him to account and confronted him and shocked the conscience of this state into doing something, because if we do nothing, we will continue to see this year after year, school after school, kid after kid. This one is on all of us. It's on every single one of us to do something. So I'm here to
I want to pause there for a second because that part is true. Like, Americans, and again, I know there's a lot of factors to play into this, and a lot of the factors that play into Americans being so lazy and stupid are the societal conditions that we have to live through, right? Like, our school systems don't really educate us, right? Our work, people have to work like at least one job, oftentimes 2 to 3 jobs. There's a huge portion of this country that works like 2 to 3 jobs and they don't have time to do anything, right? But most people that work at least one job, right? That job takes up their whole, they think about it off and on the clock, right? It's exhausting. People don't have time to learn and educate themselves, and people don't have time to do anything about things, right? So I understand that. But my response to that, right, is, again, Americans are fucking lazy and stupid. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. And, right, so what people do is they kind of give a fuck a little bit sometimes. And what they do is they look for people who are in positions of power to, kind of live vicariously through them, right? And so that's what Beto is taking advantage of. He knows that Americans are lazy and stupid, and he wants to, be the avatar of everyone's rage, and which they're unable to express, right? But it really needs to be understood, yes, this is on all of us. This is on all of us. It's a feedback loop. Yes, right? The politicians and the billionaires control everything, and they're all fucking stupid, and they're making us fucking stupid. But guess what? The fucking stupid motherfuckers that they produce are putting in a new generation of stupid motherfuckers. And again, it's stupid motherfuckers, right, that create the conditions that lead to stupid motherfuckers, that vote for stupid motherfuckers, that create more conditions that lead to even stupider motherfuckers, right? And we just get dumber and dumber and dumber. It's like playing fucking ping pong. So again, I really want to stress out that it is extremely important that it is on all of us as Americans to do what we can when we can. And one of the big problems is that Americans, even if they want to do something, they don't know what to do. Right? We don't know how to even talk to each other. We don't know how to organize. We don't even know how to come up with ideas together. And that's the problem. That's one of the major problems that lead to this shit. But anyway, let's keep going.
Stand up for the people of Texas.
He said mental health. What's broken here? He said
we are
mental
50th,
health only.
We are
He didn't mention
50th.
guns.
We are 50th in the nation in mental health care access. 50th. There are only 50 states in the nation. We are dead last. The number one provider of mental health care services under Greg Abbott in the state of Texas is the county jail system in the state of Texas. The largest inpatient mental health care facility in the state of Texas is the Harris County Jail in downtown Houston, Texas.
So this part here, again, I personally would like to identify as a prison abolitionist. Cops existing makes it really hard to advocate for rehabilitation and prison abolition. I'm fine with carving out an exception. Any cop, go to prison for the rest of your life and then release everyone else or throw them through rehabilitative services. I'm fine with that carve out. But again, it needs to be understood that this is an intersection here of multiple different issues. The only way people are able to access mental health care is if they're in jail after they've already committed a crime. What the fuck? What the fuck? Wouldn't you want to be able to go to a therapist and get mental health care before a crime is committed? What the fuck? What? You know what I mean? Like, that's insane. It's insane. And recently, Greg Abbott has defunded the already shitty-ass fucking mental health care that Texas has. He defunded it. It's fucking insane!
He's refused to expand Medicaid, which would bring $10 billion a year, including mental health care access for people who need it. He's refused to champion red flag laws. When somebody says that they are having trouble, that they may kill somebody, they may kill themselves, a red flag law would protect the public. He's refused to support safe storage laws so young people cannot get their hands on their parents' guns. He's refused to support a ban on AR-15s and AK-47s. This 18-year-old who just turned 18 bought an AR-15 and...
So, the way that he bought this AR-15 is under intense scrutiny. There's no real answer yet from what I have seen. How did this motherfucker get a hold of a gun? He got, like, what, 2 guns and, like, fucking hundreds of bullets at age 18? That's crazy. I've seen multiple people suggest that he bought them on credit. Like, you know, like a monthly payment plan. That seems to be the most likely scenario. Right? And it's like, okay, you can buy a gun for $90 down payment and then go commit a mass shooting and you don't have to pay the rest of it off. Isn't that great? It's insane. It's insane. This shit's insane.
Took it into an elementary school and shot kids in the face and killed them. Why are we letting this happen in this country? Why is this happening in this state? Year after year, city after city. This is on all of us if we do not do something, and I am going to do something, and I'm not alone. The people of Texas are with us. The majority of the people of Texas are with us, but we've got to stand up to this, or we just accept this theater and business as usual, and we accept the next shooting. We could have stopped this if we had stood up after Santa Fe High School. If we had stood up after El Paso, we are going to stop the next one. We're standing up right here in Uvalde, Texas right now.
So I just want to say I'm glad Beto is taking the lead on this. Again, he's running to replace Greg Abbott. And so I'm glad that he's trying to take a lead on this. I'm glad that he's using this moment to try to energize people into fucking doing something. Doing fucking something! But I'm going to be honest. I'm a little bit of a pessimist. Is anything going to happen? Let's be honest. Let's be real. Even if he replaces Greg Abbott as governor, I mean, you still have to deal with the shitfuck state legislature that's highly gerrymandered. Right? So, even if he becomes governor, let's be honest. Let's be real. Like, if he becomes governor and then he turns his whole gubernatorial, like, fucking, you know, like, career into trying to advocate to replace all these things in the state senate and the state house, right, to get, like, the, you know, the state to flip over to blue instead of just the governor's mansion. Maybe. But let's be honest. Let's be real. Like, what are we looking at in a best case scenario? We're looking at him being like a stopgap for 4 years from the shit that the fucking House and the Senate are going to pass. right? And then he'll probably just lose election in 4 years and nothing will change. I'm just being honest about the situation. And like, I don't want that situation. I don't advocate for that situation. But how many people, like, let's be honest. Let's be real. Let's be realistic. I've spoken to Americans. I've met a lot of Americans. How many people that live in the United States actually understand that there's a state house and state senate in addition to the federal house and senate? Like, be honest. Like, does your mom, does your fucking cousin, does your fucking uncle, do they know that there's a state house and senate? Because, I don't know, maybe my family and everyone I've ever spoken to in multiple different states are just fucking stupid. But a lot of people are just ignorant about state politics entirely. Right? Now, that's a first layer question. How many people know who their state senator or state rep delegate is? Like, percentage-wise? I don't know. Maybe everyone I've ever spoken to has given me a bad impression. But, like, again, how many people know how gerrymandered their state's House and Senate districts are? I don't know. I want people to be more educated on that, and I think it's incumbent upon Beto to educate people on that. He should take these opportunities to say it's not just about his campaign, but it's about mobilizing an entire grassroots fucking uprising in every district. Everywhere. That's what it should be about. And it, you know, under Barack Obama, Democrats lost over 1,000 seats in state houses and state senates all across the country. Under Barack Obama. Why? Because Barack Obama championed this big movement in 2008 and 9 and then just did nothing with it. He's like, all right, I'm in. And that was it. That was his presidency. I got in. Great. All of y'all, fuck them. How did Democrats lose like 1,000 fucking seats? And like, it's insane. They just don't care. You see a lot of these races in state, and like even municipal and more local elections where Democrats don't even run. They just let Republicans run unopposed and don't even bother countering their disinformation campaigns. It's insane. It's fucking crazy. Like, how often do you see national leaders talk about state and local elections? I'm just saying. So it's not just about Beto's campaign. It's about a lot more than that. But again, I just want to say him going and just sit calmly, because he wasn't acting out of line when he went to the press conference. He was just speaking in his normal voice, and then everyone on stage was like, "Fuck you, right?" Like, and this press conference that he did outside of the Abbott press conference is really good. And I just want to say, like, I like the direction of Beto right now, and he needs to be pressured because no one else is going to step into this spotlight. Is Joe Biden going to step into this spotlight? Is he going to do what he needs to do? No. Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi? No. Nancy Pelosi, again, this fucking clip, I play it all the time.
Hey, here I am, Nancy Pelosi, saying this country needs a strong Republican Party, and we do.
That's what she's doing. Nancy Pelosi went to Texas to campaign for a pro-NRA Democrat. She literally spent her time and resources helping the NRA win an election. Now, again, the 28th district, to my understanding, is still too close to call, and there's going to be a recount. But this fucking shit, like, it sucks that Beto looks like the best fucking hope for the Democratic Party right now. That fucking sucks. But, you know what? If Beto's the guy, who's actually going to fucking stand up to do something about this, or at least say he's going to. Because that's the thing, right? Even if he doesn't actually do anything, at least he's going up there and saying it. At least Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer aren't even doing the bare minimum. Chuck Schumer immediately was like, oh, this gun reform bill? Sorry, not going to happen. By the way, we're taking a break. See you in a couple weeks. It's fucking insane. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Scorp says Kirk Rivers won mayor in EC. That's great. That's super cool. If you didn't know, I moved away a while ago, so I did not have the ability to vote for him, unfortunately. But that's super good news. That's like super good news. Like honestly, like that makes me happy. Kirk's a really good guy. Just hydrating here. I got my multiple hydration apparandi. Daniel Johnson, I agree. Let's go, Daniel, I agree. Get your goddamn beans. Get your goddamn, and let's fucking prepare for the apocalypse. I agree. Hello, Macaroni. How's it going? I know that Henry Cuellar did the Trump thing and declared victory, but I'm pretty sure it's still under a recount. The Delta seems to be around 160 votes. So I think they're doing a recount, but I know that Cuellar did the Trump thing, and it was like, we in! I should also say, did the Pete Buttigieg thing. Reminder, who did the Trump thing before Trump? Pete fuckface Buttigieg? Can we talk about that again? Like real quick, just so we don't forget. Remember the Iowa caucus? And Pete just pretended he won? Now again, we can talk about the state delegate equivalent garbage. Like that's a whole different topic. But before all of that was even counted, he declared victory. So, just saying, Democrats paved the way for Donald Trump's garbage. Fucking shit on my shoes. Speaking of which, I'm probably going to cover the NRA convention clips over the course of the next couple of days as well, but I want to play this one because this shit is insane. So Ted Cruz, I mean, like, do I even need to introduce this guy? Let's just watch.
Ultimately, as we all know, what stops armed bad guys is armed good guys.
So I want to remind everyone Ted Cruz got triggered the other day and like started touching a reporter. I still can't believe that didn't make the rounds. Why is Ted Cruz like pushing reporters and going like this to reporters? Get out of my... Like, could you imagine putting your hands on Ted Cruz and not getting tackled and tased and thrown in jail? Right, but anyway, so a couple days after Ted Cruz assaults a reporter. Now, again, I use assault in the legal definition because if I touched Ted Cruz without consent or permission, I would be charged with assault. If you touch a cop without consent or permission, you get charged with assault. So how come when Ted Cruz touches a reporter, he's not charged with assault? I don't know. But anyway, that's a whole different clip. Go watch that. But here we have, obviously, as we all know, the good guys are the guys who stop the bad guys. Well, what about Buffalo, New York, where there was a good guy with a gun that tried to stop the bad guy with a gun, and the good guy with the gun got shot and killed? What about, again, in Uvalde, Texas? There were 19 good guys with guns. We saw the videos. They had the decked out, high precision fucking super rifle machine guns. They had riot gear. They had fucking like armor on their fucking legs, arms, and chest. And they had helmets. They had all this fucking shit. They had helicopters. They had all the fucking crap in the world. A lot of good guys with guns. Whoops. This shit's insane. It's insane. Like, we live in the fucking Twilight Zone. And then I wanna play this clip again, but don't listen to what Ted Cruz says. Right? Don't listen. Like, try to mute what Ted Cruz is saying in your brain, right? And listen to the audience.
Ultimately, as we all know, what stops armed bad guys is armed good guys.
Like, I wouldn't, like... Do I need commentary? Is commentary necessary? Do I need to, like, acknowledge just how insane the world is? Or is it just, like, I would like to say it's obvious, but apparently not. Like, apparently not. This isn't obvious. People might watch this video and go like, I wonder what's going on in the goddamn world. Like, what the fuck? What? It's insane. These motherfuckers are insane. They're crazy. Like, imagine spending thousands of dollars to go watch Ted Cruz be a dumbass and then go like in the crowd. Like, Jesus, fuck. Wow. Insane. So, speaking of Ted Cruz, we're getting a double dose of cringe on today's program. Ted Cruz, you know, sure, there was just a giant fucking news story in a state, right? Massacre of 19 kids. But, you know what? He wants to get away from it all. He wants to, you know, take a break. The Senate's on recess, right? So he's not, you know, he's got a couple weeks off. Let's take a break. Let's take a goddamn break. So he went out to eat, and this happened.
Why did this keep happening? And why did you come here to the convention to take blood money? Why? When 19 children died, 19 children died. That's on your hands. That's on your hands. Ted Cruz, that's on your hands.
Okay, so there's a lot to analyze here. There's a lot to analyze. So first of all, I want to point out Ted Cruz just going like, Jesus fuckface motherfuck. Okay, so that is just like, his body language is so offensive to me on every core of my being. Second of all, the only way we can bring about any change whatsoever is if we do this, not just every day, but every second of every day. These politicians should not be allowed to sleep. They should be having megaphones blasting at all hours of the night. They should not be allowed to sleep. They should have people tracking their every move. If they go out to a restaurant, the restaurant should refuse to serve them. The people that work there should refuse to serve them. And the people in the restaurant should harass him and heckle him. That should be the default. Every second of every day, these people should not be allowed to participate in society. If you are the architect or one of the core architects of the slaughtering of 19 kids, you shouldn't be allowed to walk around. That's fucked up. That's crazy. That's crazy. Now, I want to play this clip again, just like with the previous one. And I want you to pay attention to everyone else. So don't pay attention to Ted Cruz. Don't pay attention to the person heckling Ted Cruz. Pay attention to all the other people in this situation. Now, again, this looks like a fancy upscale restaurant, so, obviously. But, even rich people don't give a fuck when 19 kids are slaughtered. Even rich people don't care.
Why did this keep happening? And why did you come here to the convention to take blood money? Why? When 19 children died, 19 children died. That's on your hands. That's on your hands. That's on your hands.
So, the people in the foreground, I don't know who recorded this. I don't know what their intentions are. But the people in the foreground literally started laughing when the guy got taken out. That's insane. Like, it's just like, oh, it's like looking at a zoo. Oh, someone who actually cares, even 1%. Oh, isn't that cute? It's insane. It's insane. And this is what I was talking about earlier. Is that this is the feedback effect, the cycle of garbage in this country. Americans, after everyone in the country reading about 19 kids being slaughtered and massacred, cops did nothing, politicians orchestrated the whole situation. Americans don't care. They don't fucking care. They don't fucking give a fucking shit. They don't care. And they view anyone that even cares a little bit, even if you don't do something like this, but you just think, that's kind of fucked up actually. You're the freak. You're the weirdo. Just acknowledging how fucked up the world is makes you the fucking weirdo? It's insane. Like, everyone in this restaurant, now again, it's a fancy, rich people fucking place, right? So keep that in mind. But you'd think, would rich people give a shit about the mass murder of kids? No, they don't. They don't. No one fucking cares. None of them fucking care. The security guards, they don't care. The staff, they don't care. No one cares. In a moment where this guy was extremely brave and needed solidarity the most, everyone pointed and laughed. It's insane. This world is insane. Americans are fucking fucked up in the head. They're fucked in the head, and not in the good dick way. They are fucking insane. The average American is so far detached from any objective reality that, again, there is mass psychosis in this country. They see the mass murder of children, the industrialized mass murder of children, and they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. They don't care. To them, it's entertainment. It's all part of the fucking freak show. It's all part of the television spectacle. They don't give a fuck at all. It's insane. It's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy. as a black conservative, I've been harassed by Dems more than right-wingers. I'm sorry, but if you're a black conservative, you're a fucking moron. Like, that's all I need to read. I didn't bother reading the rest of your garbage. But a black conservative, huh? Okay.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
Dumb as fuck. All right. Let's play this. I'm out of fucking coffee. Zero PE, go back and watch the start of the stream. I shouted you out. This motherfucker got a shout out. All right. Ooh. Bear with me here. All right, so I'm going to do one more news story. And then I'm going to do a movie review. And for the movie review, I got the glasses. So you should know what's coming. Something good. Anyway. I don't even know how to introduce this, so I'm just going to play this.
Dying should justify someone having their rights taken away. That's just it. You do not get to strip someone of their human rights because of harm to children. Do you want to have a conversation about trans kids and the harm that will befall them by them being sterilized by puberty blockers, by them being castrated? Or by girls getting top surgery? You want to talk about their rights or infringements or what's happening to these kids? Do you want to strip someone's rights? Let's have that conversation. No, I don't think you're ready to have that conversation. I don't want kids to die. Quite the opposite. I want kids to live full, normal, and healthy lives, to become adults, because that's the important thing.
I mean, once again, I get a lot of mileage out of this clip, but once a fucking again? Jesus.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
These motherfuckers are insane. They really are. They really are. Like, I didn't cover this on my show yet, and maybe I will over the next couple of days. When the Uvalde massacre of 19 kids happened, 4chan orchestrated a disinformation campaign to blame a transgender person who had no relation to anything at all. And even people in Congress, like Paul Gosar, and then big-time people like Candace Owens were saying that a trans person murdered 19 kids as a way to play into this goofball propaganda campaign that trans people are evil or something. Now, again, puberty blockers do not sterilize children. The point of puberty blockers, I know, we all know this, right? But people that might find this clip might be fucking stupid or ignorant, and they might not know this. If you take cross-sex hormones for a significant period of time, you may become sterile. But puberty blockers do not make you sterile. What they do is they delay puberty for an additional couple of years to give you time to go through, therapy. Maybe try a couple things out. It basically gives you an extra year or two to make your decision on whether or not you want to start cross-sex hormones. They do not make you sterile. That's just not true. But then again, this motherfucker, this stupid-ass prick, beanie boy fuckface. And by the way, I'm ready to have any conversation. I'm waiting for my invite, Tim Cast. Where's my goddamn invite? I'll come on your show, bitch. Anyway, this guy is like, nothing justifies your human rights being taken away. Well, here's some food for thought. there's no such thing as human rights. Think about it. What are human rights? Where did they come from? They're not real. There is no human right. We have no rights. They're make-believe. It's a fairy tale that we tell our children before bedtime that they have rights. They don't have rights. You don't have rights. I don't have rights. Beanie Boy doesn't have rights. No one on planet Earth has any rights. At all. And if we did have rights, let's just assume, if rights somehow actually did exist, if rights somehow were a real thing, you think the right to a gun is more important than the right to life? Like, if we're going to create a priority list here, right, of like the most important rights, I would say the right to being alive without being murdered, probably a little more important than the right to a gun. I'm just saying. And I say this as someone that is more pro-gun than a lot of people on the left. I think guns are a very complicated issue. Would I prefer to live in a world without guns? Yep. Would I prefer to live in a world without nukes? Yep. But unless there's going to be an actual way to get rid of all the guns, I'm going to be honest, as a left-winger, as a queer, and there's a lot of stories going on in the world right now that lead me to believing this kind of stuff is necessary, I think being armed is necessary. Because right-wing lunatics have guns, they train with them every day, and they are willing to murder dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of people. So I say left-wingers should also buy guns. And here's just a little food for thought. In California, which has one of the strictest gun controls, right, in the country, Tim Pool and other right-wingers love to say that. Why, though? Can anyone trace back the roots of gun control in California? Think about it. Or look it up. But I'll tell you. The reason, you want to know who made gun control a thing in California? Ronald Reagan. Whoa, that might be blowing your mind. Whoa. Ronald Reagan? Gun control? Okay. But why did he do it? Because the Black Panther Party started organizing open carry demonstrations outside of state houses, outside of the Capitol. Black people started buying guns and just displaying them open carry. And then Ronald Reagan, the God Messiah of conservative ideology, that was too much for him to handle, and he controlled the guns. So I want to say, if you want gun control in this country, whether or not you think it's a good idea, bad idea, whatever, my opinion, if you are black, buy a gun. If you are black, buy 10 guns. If you are gay, buy 30 guns. If you're a trans, buy 50,000 guns. Buy as many guns as you fucking can. Because 1, you'll have a gun to defend yourself. 2, we're going to get a lot closer to gun control if the blacks and the queers start arming up. I'm just saying. But back to this whole trans thing. The fact that right-wingers are taking this moment to continue to beat down minorities for no reason. No reason. What have trans people ever done to Tim Pool? What have trans people ever done to any conservative? They just said, hi, my name's whatever. What's your name? And that's enough to convince these people that they want to create a genocide campaign. It's insane. And they don't give a fuck about rights. You think Tim Pool cares at all about rights? Did you see what he was saying in 2020? when police were beating the fucking shit out of journalists? Regardless of whether or not you support police beating the shit out of black people, right? Because Tim Pool loves that shit. He loves watching cops kill black people and beat the fuck out of black people. That's entertainment. That's live television for him. But what about the right to a free press? When cops shoot bullets, right, at journalists holding cameras that have press written on them, does Tim Pool care about rights? No. The only rights he cares about are the rights that are good for him to talk about at that moment. And the only rights he doesn't care about are the rights that aren't relevant to him at that moment. He's not a journalist going in and doing field reporting. So why does he care if journalists are getting shot in the face? He's not a black person protesting against police brutality. So why does he care if black people get shot in the face? He doesn't care. It's insane. These people are insane. And again, rights, made up concept. They don't exist. Make-believe, fairy tale. It's like Santa Claus. If you believe in Santa Claus, you might as well believe in the Bill of Rights. You think we have a free press in this country? You think we have a right for anything at all? I mean, just take the Fourth Amendment, right? Unreasonable search and seizure. What about the NSA? Have you ever been pulled over at a traffic stop and had cops search your car for no reason? Like, why are you searching my car? Because my taillight's out. What? What about the Eighth Amendment protection from unreasonable and cruel punishment? I would say the death penalty is unreasonable and cruel. I would say locking someone in a steel cage for 80 years for smoking weed is a little unusual and definitely pretty cruel. You don't have any rights. You've never had rights. The only reason that rights exist as a concept are to pacify the American people into thinking things are just fine, but they're not. Things are not just fine. It's insane. These people are fucking insane. And again, the fact that they tie this absolute tragedy to trans people is just, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. Oh. All right, y'all. I am going to do a movie review, but real quick, I've got to go use the urination station. I booked an appointment for 1:24 p.m. for the urination station, so I got to go make sure that they keep my appointment. I will be back in 48 seconds. Time me? Is this thing on? Testing. 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 Is this thing on? Testing. Is anyone here? What's up? Got some water. There's a Max dog here. Maxie! Max! Let's get this Max dog on screen. Check this out. Maxie. Come on up, pup! Come on up, pup! Ooh. This little corner that I have my computer in right now is not very dog friendly. Did I wash my hands? Of course not. Why the fuck would I wash my hands? I got a show here. I'm on the clock. Come on, Max. Oh my god, this dog. All right, y'all. So we're going to get into a movie review here. All right. How's everyone doing today? I don't know about you, but in here, that's the cleanest part of my body. I got not one, but two layers of protection right there. Say, I don't know about you, but I got multiple layers of protection. So, that shit, I'm good. I don't need to wash my hands after peeing. What the fuck are you people on about? Anyway. Wash the dog. I love the concept of washing the dog. Not giving the dog a bath. Just washing the dog. Like, throw the motherfucker in the laundry machine. What? Do people actually wash their fucking hands after they piss? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Like, if I, like, accidentally piss on my hands, you know, like, woo! Like, you know, I'm reaching down in and I get into the splash zone, maybe. Y'all motherfuckers are crazy. Anyway, let's do a movie review. Let's talk about some movies. And by movies, I mean movie. Singular. Alright, yesterday. Alright. Y'all, let me put the glasses on. This is my movie review character glasses. So yesterday, I watched a film. I've been on a little bit of a binge lately. A film binge. And yesterday, I continued the binge with Tenet. The latest Christopher Nolan film. This is the second time I've seen this movie. I watched this movie on shrooms. So, you know, Christopher Nolan movies, I'm pretty dead set on recommending that all of them are worth watching on psychedelic drugs. And by that, I mean they're not, because drugs are bad and you should never do them. That being said, wow. What a film. Okay, so I don't like, this is one of those movies. I watched this movie around when it came out. But I'm going to be honest, I was not, like, when I watched the movie, I was pausing it a lot and not paying attention to the movie too much. It was just kind of background noise at the time. So this is, like, in a lot of ways, the first time I actually watched the movie, like, with intricate detail. And again, I haven't seen every Nolan film yet, right? I haven't seen any of the Batman films. I've never really seen any superhero movie. Someone told me that Blade is a superhero movie, so if that counts as a superhero movie, that might be the first superhero movie I've seen, right? So I don't really watch superhero movies, so I haven't seen those. But I'm increasingly impressed with Christopher Nolan's filmography. It's like the oops all bangers, right? Like, this motherfucker somehow doesn't miss. Like, it really is insane, right? It's insane to, like, think about. Like, every single one of these movies that I'm watching is just like, oh, it's perfect. It's perfect. So anyway, this movie, wow, I don't even know where to start. So anyway, it's kind of like time travel, but not really, right? But it is, but it's not. So the core tenet of this movie is that there is an ability to travel backwards in time, right? But it's not like you're going back in like a time machine. What there is a machine that like reverses or inverts your entropy or whatever, right? So it just basically does the exact duplicate of traveling forward in time. You just travel backward in time. Like, so for you, you're still walking, and right, like, but you're just walking backwards in time, right? And so, that's the core tenet of the film. And so, you know, first of all, the movie is so confusing. I mean, I have seen a lot of Nolan movies multiple times, and every time I watch them, I pick up on more and more details. But this movie, I feel like I need to watch this movie 10 times to truly appreciate it, because it's so densely packed with information. It's incredible. It's incredible. Honestly, it's incredible. So, like, first of all, my favorite part of the movie is when they first go to the inversion machine. I forget what it's called. But they go to the inversion machine, and the main character, who, by the way, I just want to say also, the main character not having a name, 10 out of 10. He's just the protagonist. I love it. I love that shit. It's like in like video games where they don't name the main character, they just call him the protagonist so that you feel like it's you or whatever. I just love that. He doesn't have a name, and he also like refers to himself as the protagonist, which is cool. But anyway, in that room where they first enter the inversion machine, right, and it's got the red and the blue lighting, right, and there's like, you know, you see the protagonist like sweating and like trying to answer questions, like, and the red lighting is beaming on his face, and then like, it's just, the lighting is really good. There's a lot of like red and blue themes to like differentiate between people that are inverted or not inverted and so forth. But again, the concept of the inversion is incredible. It's a really good concept. Right, they do it really well in the movie. It's just so good. But like, there's so many aspects to this film. It feels like there's like 5 movies in one. Like, that's what this movie is. So like the first couple of minutes, right, the opera house scene. Jesus Christ, like, there's so much going on. Like, that could have been its own movie, right? Like, every like major scene in this movie could be its own movie, and that's why it's so incredible, right? And then you've got like I love the part where they go to the Freeport or whatever it's called, like the art storage at the airport, and then they just like drive a plane into that shit. That could be its own movie. This shit's great. And then of course, like, you know, the part where the protagonist and Robert Pattinson, who I don't think I've ever seen a movie with him other than this. I think this is the first and only movie I've seen with him in, and like, you know, goddamn, I can understand why people like him so much. Woof. Anyway, I love the part where they fight their inverted selves, but they don't know it yet. It's great. I mean, it's just wonderful. It's amazing. And then later on, when you go through backwards in time and then the scenes play, but in reverse, it's just like, damn, Damn, I mean, again, this movie, and one of the things is when you're watching movies on shrooms, at least for me, oftentimes, like, if the movie has, like, some high anxiety, like, I will internalize this anxiety, right? So there's a lot of parts in this movie, because, again, this movie is, like, 5 movies in one, right? So each, like, part, each scene, or each, like, segment of the storyline has its own climax, right? And so... You know, like, just, and then the music, oh my god, the music is so good. Oh, the music is a 10 out of 10. I mean, this is a 59 out of 10. This is a 76 out of 10. This movie is perfect, it's flawless, it's amazing. Anyone who doesn't like it has a low IQ. Just throwing that out there. If you don't like Tenet, you're a dumb fuck, go fuck yourself. Anyway, back to the movie. So, like, I remember, like, so the shrooms are kicking in during, like, the plane scene, right? Like, there's, like, the plane going through the thing and blowing the fuck up, right? And then, like, the music is, like, right? And it's like, oh, my God, like, I'm freaking the fuck out, right? I have to pause, right? Like, oh, my God, like, you know, I'm freaking out because, like, I'm on drugs. And so, like, the high anxiety, high tense scenes are just, like, it's just really good. And, like, oh, my God. For someone in the chat, it gets rips from online reviewers. I just want to say, if you don't like this movie, you are not a human being. You're a fucking moron. I'm just being honest. I can't respect someone who doesn't like this movie. I can't respect someone who doesn't like Interstellar. I can't respect someone that doesn't like Inception. These, like, Nolan, oops, all bangers, right? Like, I haven't seen all of his movies yet, but, like, every single one I've seen is perfect. I don't know how he does it, right? I have no idea. He probably does a lot of drugs, but, like, if you don't like this movie, you're just stupid. And it's fine if you're stupid, right? Not all movies are made for you, bro. If you don't like this movie because, I can't understand it. Great. Go watch fucking cartoons or something. I mean, I like cartoons too. Like, but go watch whatever. Like, this movie isn't made for you. It doesn't make it a bad movie because you're a fucking stupid, dumb fuck motherfucker and you've got a low IQ. But anyway, the thing about this movie is that it's so densely packed with information. It's a movie where it's like, you know, you gotta watch it like 17 times in order to actually understand what the fuck is going on. Like, this is my second time watching this movie, and I still want to watch it again. I want to watch it like 5 more times, right? Like, because there's so much fucking story in this movie that, like, is like just there's so many scenes where, like, the protagonist and, like, Robert Pattinson are talking, or the protagonist and the arms dealer are talking, or, like, you know, just whatever, the protagonist and, like, Sator are talking, right? There's so many scenes where it's like they're just saying a bunch of words that don't make any sense, but, like, on the second watch, right, having known the twists and stuff already, like, you pay more attention to the subtext, and then it makes more sense. Not every movie is designed to be watched one time. Not every movie is designed to be watched one time, and then that's it. Not every movie is like a linear, progressive, you finish it and then you have all of the experience. This is a movie it's designed to watch 10 times. I read an article where even the lead actor, John David Washington, had no idea how to explain the movie or whatever when the movie came out and said he needed to watch it like 5 more times. I think that that's great. But anyway, this is a movie that it challenges you. It's a high IQ movie. If you don't follow it, if you don't understand it, it's not the movie's fault, dumb fuck. It's not the fucking movie's fault. Watch it again. If you wanna, if you don't understand it and you want to understand it, watch it a second time. Watch it a third time. Right? Nolan did Memento. That's correct. Anyway, again, so back to the movie. I hate people, and I hate movie reviewers. I hate all of that shit. Like, people think everything in the world is designed for them, and if it's not, they get fucking mad and have a temper tantrum. But anyway, wow. I just want to say these glasses are hurting my eyes. But anyway, the movie is so fucking good. It's just like every scene, every heist scene, right? With like, it's all like each part of the story could be its own movie. And I'm not gonna lie. When I got to the ending of the movie, right, like, and they're doing like that big war scene, I had like that was really hard to follow. Like, I kept like trying to think like, okay, so there's like hundreds of people on screen, right? Like, there's a war going on. Why is there a war going on? I don't know. Right, because of the time travel thing. Okay, so they're at war, and then all this is there's so much happening. Like, again, I really need to watch this movie again, like a third time. I need to watch this movie like 10 times. I want to like do a bunch of fucking drugs and watch this movie 10 times in a row, because that sounds like a fun day. But anyway, like just, it's so densely packed with information. And that's the thing, is this movie, like, the plot, right, is so complicated. Now, I know a lot of Nolan movies have those complicated plots that people don't understand. But this one really, it takes the cake. This is significantly more, like, complicated than any other Nolan movie I've seen. Maybe one of the most complicated movies I've ever seen. I don't know. It's just like, it's I don't know, man. It's insane. But anyway, all the twists and turns, right? Like, my favorite part of the movie, I know I say this about, like, several parts of the movie, but, you know, bear with me. I love the ending where Robert Pattinson is like, you know, for me, this is the end of a friendship because he goes in to kill himself or whatever to save the team, right? But, you know, for you, this is the start of a friendship that, like, teases the fact that the protagonist actually lives on in the future, right? And, like, you know, and does a bunch of stuff in the future and then goes back in the past. It's just amazing, right? It's just, I don't know, man. Like, this is a movie, I can't explain it. You cannot explain this movie. If you try to explain this movie, I mean, good luck, right? Like, it's just, you're not going to be able to do it. This is a masterpiece. Again, Nolan, oops, all bangers, right? The motherfucker doesn't miss. It's impossible to really comprehend how good of a fucking director he is. Maybe even the best of all time. I mean, I don't know, but you know, I got to watch a lot more movies to make that proclamation. But damn, this shit is fucking good. So anyway, wow, what a movie. I really liked, again, the inversion part, like when the protagonist goes through the inversion machine. I forget what it's fucking called because I'm a stupid dumbass. But when he goes through the inversion machine for the first time, right, and then starts walking outside, right, and the effects, like, you can see everything is running backwards, and he's, like, having trouble walking, right, and he's like, oh, right, and it's like, you need to have the gas masks on, right, like, that shit is fucking great, like, it's just, and then the scenes, like, the thing I love about it is, like, the highway scene where they're on the highway and there's a bunch of shit happening and then there's, like another random car and then the protagonist, like, before, you know, because the protagonist meets each other, right? They, you know, the future and past versions meet each other, right? And so when they're on the highway scene and then he sees this other car, right? And it's just like, and then, like, they stare at each other and it's like, you know, it's like he has an inkling that, what the fuck is going, who is this person? I don't know, right? And then on the other way around, right, then they stare at each other again, and then it's like, oh, it all makes sense. It's just so good. I mean, fuck. Again, this movie, it's I can't, there's no part of any human brain could possibly describe how good this movie is in words, right? You need to watch it. Like, it's one of those movies that I can review it, I can talk about it for 17 hours straight, but it wouldn't, you have to watch the movie. Like, you just have to watch the fucking movie. Jesus Christ. It's just so good. And again, like, it's one of those movies, like, where every angle is good. The music. Wow! The music is so good! And you've got, like, you know, the typical Nolan, like, boom music when the good stuff's happening, where they just make these loud-ass fucking noises and it's, like, blowing your eardrums out. Right, like, the music is 10 out of 10. It's perfectly representative of what's on screen. It directs the pacing of what's on screen really well. Again, when I'm on shrooms and I watch a movie, the music, I really, like, my emotional state gets wrapped up in the music for movies, right? So in Nolan movies, the music is always really good, right? And so the music directs the emotional experience of how you, like, interpret these scenes. And so, you know, again, like, the music is great. The action is great. Like, you know, like, all the scenes of all the fighting, especially when the protagonist is fighting himself, but he's fighting the inverted version of himself, right? And so, like, they're using, like, inverted, like, fucking, like, fighting techniques, and it's just, wow, the choreography for that was, it was tremendous. It was tremendous. It's, like, again, it's perfect. It's just so unique. It's so interesting. It's so amazing. It's just, it's just so good, right? So all the fight scenes are great. But then it's I love the scenes when it's just the protagonist and Robert Pattinson just, like, you know, I forget his name, I think it's Neil or something, right? Yeah. So, like, there's scenes where they're talking, right? But it's, like, one conversation, but, like, the conversation is, like, they're in a bus now they're in the middle of the street, but the conversation sounds like it's not, like, with these weird time gaps, right? You know, it's like, so, like, you know, when they're filming it or in, like, the movie timeline, right? Like, chronologically, they say a couple things and then they just are silent, right? And then they go outside, and then they continue the conversation, and then they're silent for, like, however long, and now they're in an office building, and now they're continuing. I love that, though. It's great. I mean, just, I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed. Like, I mean, I I cannot possibly explain just how impressed I am by this film, by all of Nolan's films that I've seen by this point. And I plan to watch all of them. I've never seen a Batman movie before, but, you know, if there's any Batman movie to be the first ones, I'm going to watch the Nolan ones first. But anyway, wow. I mean, the ending scene with the giant war battle and stuff, like, it's so difficult to really, like, comprehend what's going on. Again, this is a movie you need to watch multiple times, right? It's just so important that you watch the movie multiple times because, again, there's so much subtext, right? Because, again, on a rewatch, right, you'll pay less attention to the action scenes. You'll pay less attention to, like, you know, the directly in your face kind of stuff, and more attention to the subtext, more attention to the characters in the background. Because that's the other thing also, is that you can see the inverted characters in the background, right? Like, you can, like, during, like, the plane scene where they, like, you know, do all the shit with the driving the plane into the airport, right? You can see the inverted versions of the characters in the background, right? And, like, and then, like, on the rewatch, you'll say, oh, shit, that's them on the first, and it's just great. It's great. It's fucking, oh, right? It's just, oh, it's so good. And that's what I love about movies. Like, movies should not just be, I mean, and movies can be whatever people want them to be ultimately, but I'm very impressed by Nolan because his movies are just like, they're not only is the movie itself in a linear experience, like turning the movie on and watching it to the end, right? The non-linear storytelling is interesting in a lot of his movies, especially like Memento, for example. But like, it's a movie that's, it's like the movie itself, like itself is a non-linear experience because when you watch it multiple times, right, you gain more information, right? Like it's so densely fucking packed. It's so densely packed. Like in the opera scene at the beginning, there's so much information. There's so much fucking information, right? That you just on the first watch you don't know. Like the guy with the orange string, right? Whoops, that's Robert Pattinson's character the whole time, but you just don't know that until you rewatch the movie, right? Or if you pay attention to it and memorize it by the end, you know, it's a 2.5-hour movie, right? So, like, who remembers the detail of the orange string at, like, the beginning, and then at the, like, I don't know, you might, right? But then on the rewatch, you'll be like, oh, fuck, right away. It's so densely packed with information. And that's what I love about movies that, like, are just get better on repeated viewings, right? Like, because every time you rewatch it, right, you're paying attention to another layer. It's like listening to one of your favorite songs, right? Like, I love listening to music on shrooms, right? And then, like, each time you listen to the song, like, oh, I'm gonna pay extra attention to the bass, aka the bass on this song. I'm gonna pay extra attention to the lyrics this time I listen to it. I'm gonna pay extra attention to the drums. Like each layer, right? Like if you just like change the spotlight of what your brain is focusing on, right? And then like you pay attention to that layer, right? And then again, once you like pay attention to every single layer multiple times and then rewatch it again, knowing everything, it just makes it so much better. Like that's the thing about a movie like this, where it's like anyone who's gonna watch this movie one time and then say it's too confusing, 6 out of 10. Like, how about 6 middle fingers out of 10, motherfucker? Like, get the fuck out, delete your account, shut the fuck up, and go watch the movie again before you fucking open your shitty ass pie hole, motherfucker, right? It's just like, ugh. It's so good. I mean, again, there is no language on earth that could possibly summarize how good this movie is. Unless, I mean, even if I were to sit here for 2.5 hours, I couldn't possibly, even if I were to write, like, a 10-part miniseries, right, and, like, have 19 hours to, like, tell you just how good this movie is, it still wouldn't be in any way equivalent to watching the movie, like, just multiple times. It's just so good. It's so good. I mean, again, wow. I'm just so impressed. I'm so impressed. I can't, there's so much, I know I'm going to watch this movie again. And I know I'm probably going to do another movie review of this movie in the future again. And talk about this again. And I know the next time I will, it'll probably be a little bit more, you know, detail-oriented. But again, I'm just impressed. I'm blown away. Like, when you, like, have you ever seen a movie that's, like, 2.5 hours long? That's, like, a longer, way longer. That's what I love about Nolan movies as well, is most of them are really long. Right? You ever seen a movie, as soon as the credits roll, you just want to start it over? How many movies can you say that you've watched where as soon as the credits start rolling, you're like, oh, let's rewind, start over? Think of a movie that you've seen, right? That immediately, as soon as it's over, you just want to watch the whole thing again. So, like, that's the thing. It's like it's a 2.5 hour movie, right? But it's also Like, in that sense, it's like a 5-hour movie, right? Because if you need to watch it twice to get more out of it, or 3 times, right? Again, it's a non-linear experience, not just in the storytelling, not just in the plot, but in the way you experience the movie, right? In the format of how you experience it, it's also non-linear. And it's just so, I respect the craft so intensely, right? It's just amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. I mean, it's just so good. I don't know if there's anything else I can say, but like, it really is. I mean, I don't do ratings on my show, but like 10 out of 10. I mean, that's it. Like, maybe I'll talk about ratings. Should I rant and rave about ratings? I hate ratings, by the way. I hate number line ratings. I fucking hate them all, but maybe I'll cut that from this. But as far as Tenet goes, Jesus Christ, it's a masterpiece. I mean, again, Christopher Nolan, oops, all bangers. This motherfucker, like, he just makes such good movies. It's hard to wrap your mind around how good these movies are. It's insane. It's crazy. Ugh. Like, a movie this good existing makes every other movie, like, just worse. Like, imagine watching another movie after you watch Tenet. You can't. Like, it's not the same. This is an experience. Like, again, I just want to, like, this is not just a film. This is not just a movie that you turn on and then watch and then it's over. It's an experience, right? Like, again, you can watch this movie 4 times, and each time you watch it, you'll notice different things. It's like listening to your favorite song and paying attention to a different layer of, like, the instrumentation or the vocals or whatever, right? It's just, every time you watch the movie, it's going to be its own unique experience. Like, watching the movie for the first time and being confused by it, that's part of the experience, right? Watching the movie for the second time, knowing the basic plot, and then being able to pay attention to more of the subtext, that's its own experience. That has its own unique value. Watching the movie a third time, which I haven't yet, and I will in the future, but watching the movie a third time, where you're paying attention to different kinds of subtext that you missed on the first and second time, that's its own experience. Like, each time you watch this movie, and it's long, too, it's just, it's a masterpiece. I don't know how he does it. What a fucking banger. What a movie. Tenet. There you go. Must watch. If you haven't watched Tenet at least 20 times, are you even really a human being? And I say this as someone who's only watched it twice. So I want to watch it like 10 more times. So, wow. Goddamn. If I ever do like an Above It All meetup, you know what I'm going to do? If we ever do a meetup where I'm like meeting up with all the viewers and the chatters and everyone, we are going to sit in a theater and watch this movie 20 times and all do shrooms. That's going to be the Above It All meetup. That's what we're doing. We're going to rent out a theater, watch this movie 40 times on a loop, and all do as many drugs as humanly possible. Because, I mean, I don't know, man. Because that sounds fun. But anyway, what a movie, what a film, what an experience. Goddamn. Goddamn. Johnny Too Late, settle down. Settle down. Do you wash your hands every time you touch your mouse? Think about how much fucking garbage and bacteria and germs are on your mouse. Think about it. How often do you wash your mouse, and how often do you wash your hands after using your mouse? What about the doorknob on the bathroom door? Do you wash your hands after touching the doorknob? I don't know, man. Like, I'll wash my hands if I get shit on them. I mean, I'm after wiping, if you're wiping, there's going to be some particles that can go through the paper, right? So it's like, after a wipe, if you're going to wipe in any capacity, wash your hands. But if you're doing the no hand technique, which I love to do, the no hand technique, no hands, is completely lost in germs. No. All right, let's talk about movie ratings. This is something that I like. This is not just movie ratings, but like ratings on art in general. And I don't know how long this might be, so I might go on for a while here because I have a lot to say. But ratings are one of the worst things that have ever happened to just art and art culture. Okay? I hate ratings. I hate critics. I hate all that shit. I hate people's compulsion to find out. Like, people, like, they get obsessed with ratings. They cannot enjoy movies because they're always looking for things to get mad at. And to me, if you're looking at art from the angle of, like, I'm a critic, and you're looking for things to get mad at, like, it's fine if you're watching a movie for the 4th time and you just want to, like, make fun of all, like, the little plot holes or the flaws in a movie. That's fine. You know, whatever. It's just, you know, whatever. But people take this shit way too seriously. You ever go on IMDb or whatever, like, website you use, right? And look, like, wow, like, you finish watching a movie like Tenet, for example, right? And it's like, masterpiece, 10 out of 10. It's a perfect movie. I can't wait to watch it again. And you look up like reviews of it, and it's like, average rating is 6 out of 10. Who are these motherfuckers rating Tenet a 6 out of 10? They're dumb fuck motherfuckers, right? These are the dumbest fuckers on planet Earth, right?
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
Ratings culture of putting a number on everything, like video games. This video game's a 6 out of 10. That fucking shit is crazy. That is crazy. Boiling art down to a number on a number line is the most fucking garbage fucking way to go about living your life. Like, again, all art, like, not even like a movie like Tenet's a good example, right? Like, watching the movie for the first time and then watching the movie for the second time, those are entirely different experiences. Those are entirely different experiences. Watching the movie for the first time, you might think it's a 5 out of 10, whatever, because you're confused. Watching the movie for the second time, you might think it's a 10 out of 10. Both are unique experiences that you cannot turn into a number. You cannot watch a movie like Tenet and turn it into a number. And I'm just talking about Tenet because that's the movie I just talked about. But, like, with all video games, like video game reviewers and movie reviewers and music reviewers, there's an industry around it, right? There's an industry around people that get review copies, right? They only have like a week to, like, make up a review, right? Like, and if for a video game or for something like that, you know, that has a lot of content in it compared to a movie. But a movie like Tenet, like, again, like a video game, it's designed to be viewed multiple times, right? So can you really review Tenet after only seeing it once? It's designed, it's created, it's the whole purpose of the movie is so that it's designed to be watched like 5 times. You gain new insights every time you watch it, right? So if you watch the movie once and then review it, when it's a movie that's designed to be watched like 5 times, you're not reviewing the movie. Like, again, like, I hate this review culture, right? People, they want to, like, rush their reviews out. Oh, I got to do a review every week. Oh, I got to do, this is why when I do reviews on my show, I don't do numbers, unless it's a Christopher Nolan movie and they're all 10 out of 10, because I have no problem with saying that. But I'm not going to, like, oh, what's this movie? It's a 4 out of 10. What the fuck does that mean? What information is gained by saying it's a 4 out of 10? When I do movie reviews, I talk about what I like about the movie. I talk about what I don't like about the movie. I talk about what confused me about the movie. I talk, you know, because that's all that matters. A review is not, this is have you ever seen these fucking movie reviews or video game reviews or album reviews, right? But, like, it's like they just give a synopsis of the film. Like, they just, like, read the Wikipedia synopsis of the film and then just say 6 out of 10. You ever see those things? The low effort garbage that's shoveled out into the content mines of this fucking goddamn country's shit-ass fucking culture. You ever read these magazine articles, watch these YouTube videos, watch these movie reviewers, and it's just like, they just literally just describe the plot of the movie and then give a number. What the fuck is that shit? What the fuck? You've given me no information. I could have just read the Wikipedia article. Like, and this is the other thing I hate about movie review culture, is movie review culture, and then, again, also video game review culture and everything, where, like, what information do you gain before watching the movie? This is why I don't trust reviews. I don't care about what reviews have to say. I try to avoid any review of anything before I see something because it's going to poison the well. It's going to poison the fucking well, right? Like, you know, imagine you're somewhat interested in a video game and you look it up just to see the reviews and you see the review. Oh, Metacritic says it's a 58 out of 100. What does that mean? Like, and then you don't play the game. And then, like, 7 years go by and you're like, you know, I have this game or whatever, or I got it in a bundle or whatever, I got it for free, my cousin, you know, gave me their game collection and this is in it. So you put it in and you're like, oh fuck, this game's a masterpiece, I love it. Because again, not every game, not every movie, not every song, not every album, not all art is for all people, right? And this is why, in my opinion, like looking at aggregate ratings is useless. It is useless information, because I know that the average motherfucker in this country, the average person on planet Earth is fucking stupid. I know that the average person walking around town is a goddamn fucking idiot, right? So why would I trust their opinion on a movie like Tenet? Why would I trust their opinion on a game like Mega Man X6? They're a fucking moron, right? Like, again, like, I like, the average motherfucker, like, is just so uneducated. They're so fucking stupid, right? Like, why would I trust what their opinion is on this fucking thing? And again, like I say, an example like a Nolan film like Tenet or Inception or something, right? Like, each time you watch the movie, you could give it its own unique rating. So let's say you find it so confusing on the first watch through, and you give it a 5 out of 10. First of all, it's designed to be confusing on the first watch through. It's designed to be watched multiple times. So can you really say the movie is below average because the first time you watch it, when it's designed to be watched multiple times, you didn't get it all? You're a fucking idiot. Right? So again, I hate the poisoning of the well, right? Where it's like, oh, I looked up the reviews and the reviews say that this movie is bad. So you're going into the movie thinking it might be bad, and that taints how you experience the fucking movie. It taints it. I've played a game where it's like the first thing I heard about it is like, oh, this game's so bad. And then I play it and it's like, you know, it might be not the greatest, but is this game so bad? No, it's not. And then also, again, you can't boil down art to a number on a number line, because also look at this fucking shit. Like, the number line 1 to 10, does any movie reviewer, game reviewer, album reviewer, whatever, do they actually rate anything on a 1 to 10 scale? Let's be honest. Let's be real. Typically, movies are rated on like a 6 to 10 scale, right? So not only is the reviewer that rates something going to have their own unique, like, perception of what the number line is. Like, to them, 5 is average. 5 is the standard. To me, looking at a number line, you start at 5, and if the movie is better than average, it goes from 6, 7, 8. If the movie is worse than average, it goes 4, 3. But most movies, they start at like an 8 or a 10, and they walk backwards from there. It's fucking ridiculous. Everyone's perception of the number line is different. There's no consensus of what the numbers on the number line represent. If someone says a movie is a 4 out of 10, that means it's, like, objectively speaking, and how numbers work, 4 out of 10 is slightly below average. Does slightly below average mean bad? No, it means it's slightly below average. But, like, someone will say, oh, 4 out of 10, this movie sucks. Huh? Again, fuck that shit. Fuck ratings. Fuck reviewers. Fuck the review industry. People that get, like, their careers are I'm a movie critic. I'm a music critic. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself, you pompous fucking bastard. And, like, I hate these fucking reviewers that are like, have you ever seen these low, like, again, I hate, like, this is, I'm in the YouTube verse, so this is what I'm dealing with. Right, you ever see a fucking movie review on YouTube and it's just some dumb motherfucker reading the Wikipedia synopsis and then maybe they'll riff on it a little bit and then say 5 out of 10 or 6 out of 10 or whatever? That's it. Like, we live in the content world where, like, people are paid to produce filler garbage. People are paid to produce mind-numbing, low IQ trash on a daily basis. That's the review industry. Right? And then again, not every piece of art is for every person. Right? If, like, I, like, create a show like my show Cooking with the Bitch, right? I'm not creating my show around the idea that a 6-year-old is going to watch it. It's called Cooking with the Bitch. I've gotten people that say, oh, your production, you know, you ramble too much. And it's my fucking show, motherfucker. If you don't like the rambling, that's what I do. That's what I like. That's what I'm good at. I like rambling. I like ranting. I like raving. So for you to sit there and say, you don't like the fucking cooking show because I rant about too much during the waiting periods, why don't you just cut out the time where you're waiting for the microwave? Why not? What? It's my fucking show. If you don't like it, that's fine. It's not for you, motherfucker. Right? This idea that every piece of art is for every person, and if every person can't enjoy it, right, then the art itself is bad. Fuck you. Fuck that shit. Fuck rating culture. Fuck review culture. Fuck the review industry. Fuck ratings. I just hate it all. It's all garbage. You know what you need to do is find a reviewer that you think you have a similar taste to, and then go off of that. And you know what? That's what I like getting into the movie review stuff, right? Like people in my chat that I know we have similar taste will recommend a movie. You know, a couple of weeks go by, I watch it, and I'm like, damn, that's a good movie, right? That's what movie reviews should be about, is about talking about cool movies or what, video games, music, whatever, with your friends, with people you have similar taste to. You recommend each other stuff, right? And then you expand your each other's knowledge base. That's what it should be about. It shouldn't be about, oh, this is a 6 out of 10, and then you sort. You know what the movies like cross-genre sorting, right? Like, you ever look at, like, a top 10 movies of all time list? What a fucking crock of shit. Top 10 video games ever made. And then they're comparing horror movies or horror games with, like, fucking action movies. But these are different genres. How can you compare something like The Exorcist to something like fucking Superman? What? I don't care if they're both movies. They're not comparable. This fucking top 10 movies of all... Now, if you want to do, like, a top 10 horror movies, or, like, whatever, that's a little bit more granular, so I'm more accepting of that. But these motherfuckers that do, like, top 10 video games of all time, and it's always fucking something popular and stupid, like Ocarina of Time, right? But, like, it's just so... I hate it, man. I hate review culture. I hate ratings. I hate top 10 lists. It's such bullshit filler content. It makes us all fucking stupider, right? And so that's why when I do movie reviews, I am consciously aware that I don't want to ever attach a number to anything, unless it's like a movie that I genuinely consider a masterpiece, and I'm fine with saying 10 out of 10 or 11 out of 10 as a joke, right? But you're never going to see me do a movie review and say, this is a 3 out of 10. This is a 6 out of 10. You're never going to see that. Why? Because I've got a higher IQ than any of these fucking morons, and I'm not going to shovel out fucking filler garbage, right? I want my movie reviews to be about my opinion on the movie. That's it. That's all it is. I'm not fucking trying to make an aggregate ratings. And then, you ever like watch these movie reviewer channels and they'll rate all the movies. And then if you like watch a review from 2 years later, it's like, you called this movie a 6 out of 10 and said it was bad. And then you called this movie a 6 out of 10 and said it was okay. So what does 6 out of 10 mean? Everyone's got their own unique perception of what the number line is. There's no consensus, right? No one has there is no consensus on what a 5 out of 10 is. There's no consensus on what a 7 out of 10 is. So you have all these different people with all these different perceptions and all these different like ways to interpret the number line, making all these different reviews, and none of them match up, and it just makes a fucking shithole industry. And then you know what else I hate about ratings? Right? You ever like look at a video game, like, or a movie, and they judge the movie's value based on something like box office sales? What? You're going to judge how good this movie is based on the first month that it came out? And that's it? What? Oh, it's a box office flop, therefore it's bad? What? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking joking? What a... But if you go on Wikipedia or IMDb or any of these other websites that do aggregate scoring and stuff, you're going to find that, like, in the review section, oh, it's a box office flop, and that's it. That's the review. The first month that the movie ever existed, it didn't get word of mouth spread enough to make millions of dollars, so therefore it's bad? Huh? And the same thing with video games, right? Like, you ever watch it, like, you ever see a video game review, right? And it's like, this is a video game from like 1993 or whatever, and you look at a review from a magazine, like, like Wikipedia's, like, people love to make Wikipedia the standard. You look something about Wikipedia just to get a good review of it, right? And in the review or the reception section, it's always like, the first 6 months of video game reviews in this like 3 magazines, of people that don't have my same taste saying that the movie is bad. And then, like, the game, right, came out in 1994. 2 people reviewed it in a magazine in 1994. And that's the reception. That's 2022. And if you want to read the reception to this game, it's going to be based on a couple magazine clippings from 1994. What? Like, I mean, like, again, just the whole, like, the rating industry, the review industry, it's all garbage. And I get so mad because I will sometimes look up a movie after I've seen it, because again, I hate to poison the well. I hate spoilers. I hate going into a movie with any perception at all. I always want to watch, like, I want to watch a movie like with as little spoilers as possible. Like, I want to know, like, if someone I respect recommends it to me, it's like, okay, and that's good. But like, you ever like see a movie and it's like masterpiece, and then you look up the reviews and it's like 5 out of 10. Low IQ motherfuckers. Low IQ?
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
It's just, I hate it. It's so pretentious. It's garbage. It's trash. And it reduces the overall IQ of this country, reduces the overall IQ of the human species. Art is not designed to be experienced in a 2-month like time span in the box office, and that's the only metric you're gonna use. Fuck how many people fucking paid to see it in the movie theater in the fucking 1990s. Fuck that shit. Fuck you. If art is made to be enjoyed forever. Art is designed to be enjoyed for the rest. Like, once the art is produced, it's going to be enjoyed thousands of years from now. That's the purpose of art. The purpose of art should not be to get, like, to optimize how people view it in the first 2 months. What the fuck? Fuck you. Anyway, that's my ranting and raving sesh on movie reviewers, critics, and ratings. I hate all of them. It's fucking stupid ass shit. Whoa. Anyway, today was a longer than average program. We're about to hit like Christopher Nolan film length above it all here. It's 2 hours, 15 minutes that I've been live. So, you know, not bad. Eddie Vedder said while accepting an award at the Grammys in 1996, "I don't know what this means. I don't think it means anything." Yep, there you go. It's exactly right. Yeah, don't even get me started. I didn't even touch on the Academy bullshit. Ugh. I'll talk about these Academy Award bullfuck. That's another rant sesh. I forgot all about that fucking aristocratic fucking trash fucking fire. What a bunch of shit fuck. Like the Oscars and the Emmys and the Grant. Fuck all of that garbage. Fuck it all. So stupid. I like all movies. I think every movie is its own, like, every genre, every style, every director has their own thing that they're going for. And, like, comparing something, like, you can't, like, compare, some, like, cross-genre. You can't really, like, all art is meant to be designed, right? Or meant to be consumed in and of themselves, right? Like, you know? Like, this idea that we have to compare everything to what our imagined idea of perfection is so fucking dumb. Hey, Ouija, how's it going? I'm about to stop the stream. That's how it's going, but pretty good. Gotta mow the fucking lawn. Can you imagine? Alright. That's it.
I went in yesterday and there was a television screen, and I said, this is genius.
I don't know who created Pokemon Go, but I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
Really, how many people do that? You mean they moved out and then they said, "Ah, the hell with it, I'll move back in"? You know, it doesn't sound like a very normal. You mean they moved out and what? They missed it so much that they wanted to move back in? Yeah, it's like it's crazy.
Well, and
Here I am, Nancy Pelosi, saying this country needs a strong Republican Party. Nancy Pelosi saying this country needs a strong Republican Party. Saying this country needs a strong Republican Party, and we do.
Running against the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics puts pressure on me. Can you imagine if I lose my whole life? What am I doing? I'm going to say, I lost to the worst candidate in the history of politics. I'm not going to feel so good. Maybe I'll have to leave the country. I don't know.
dumb as a shit fuck, you know, cringe tour, etc., etc.